This is Uncle Tony, lacing up his boots, putting on his worn old jeans, and grabbing his keys to make his daily run to the gas station. Cigarette smoke in the air and the faint smell of alcohol in his breath as he began his day with us. Hot and humid outside as we began another summer activity. Shovels, gardening gloves, slushies, and your Steel 24 all sitting on the porch waiting for us to start gardening. Me and Courtney would sit on the cement steps of the porch and watch her dig away. Gardening was one of the things we were best at. We had a passion for it. Every house and every apartment we lived in, we made sure there were flowers placed perfectly all over the yard. He lived with us for a while, so we built a bond that was unbreakable. I cherish every moment and every second I got to spend with him. I now look back and remember the endless laughs and unforgettable moments we had together, and I realize more and more how much I miss you. Uncle Tony was a great man, and he was good at anything he did. He was good at art, gardening, and he was very handy. He was a man on the taller side with salt and pepper colored hair. He had a bit of a beer belly and a big tooth that he would always pop out at me and my sister and I to make us giggle. Uncle Tony had a unique sense of style and he always was a bit dirty. He was a very genuine man and he would do anything for anyone. He would give his shirt off his back if anyone needed it. He never had the best things in life, but what he had were the best for him. He always used what he had to make life good and have fun. Uncle Tony inspired me to be anything I wanted to be and let nothing hold me back. Uncle Tony inspired me to be a better person because he had a rough life before. He didn't have a great childhood and he made mistakes in his life. I remember my sister telling me Uncle Tony was a great man and he just made some mistakes. In my eyes, Uncle Tony was the best man on earth. He was and still is one of my biggest inspirations today. Uncle Tony's childhood Uncle Tony's childhood was rough. He never had a stable home environment. His mom was always in between men and he had to protect his younger sister. He never had a good role model in his life, which caused him to figure out things on his own, and he got involved with drugs and alcohol. Uncle Tony served some time in prison due to the drugs. After getting out of prison, Uncle Tony knew he had to make a change to where his life was going. Uncle Tony was uncertain what the change he had to make until he met me and my sister for the first time. I don't distinctly remember meeting him for the first time. Maybe it's just because God put us in his life to save him. I think we were the change that he needed to make. Uncle Tony lived with us for quite a while and we built a bond that was irreplaceable. We basically did everything with Uncle Tony. He would do anything for us no matter what it was. I really think me and my sister were Uncle Tony's saviors. I am honored that God chose me to be his savior. Uncle Tony moved away and back into Ohio tons of times with his long-term girlfriend Angie. Uncle Tony lived with us for a while and he got an apartment up the road. Then he moved again and got an apartment around the lake. His big move came then. He moved to Florida. Me and my sister were absolutely devastated when we just got up and moved away. He made sure he called us every Sunday morning. And one day we heard a knock on the door and Uncle Tony and Aunt Angie were just standing at my door. They then moved in with us for a while. My sister and I were so happy that they came back, and I remember Uncle Tony couldn't believe how much me and my sister grew up. I think it was the best part of my life when he came back home. When he lived with us, he helped my mom and dad out a lot. He would always watch us no matter what. He always made sure we got to school and had breakfast because my parents had to work. I had to drink over 1 million slushies while he lived with us because we always had to go to the gas station and he would always buy them for us. My favorite memory I have while he lived with us was Christmas morning. I can still remember the look on his face. The amount of joy he had was incredible, all because me and my sister were happy. Uncle Tony did anything to make me and my sister happy. I'm so glad he lived with us because I don't think I would have half the memories I do if he didn't. There are so many memories I have with him and it kills me to think that I am unable to make any more. Tons and tons of laughs we shared over the years. I can't even think of one time that Uncle Tony never made me happy. One thing I remember most clearly is you teaching me to draw. Well, try to. I didn't really get the artistic abilities. You got me an easel for Christmas and I was so happy. You would sit there with me and teach me techniques, but honestly I only liked watching you draw because you had a passion for it that the word passion can't even describe. So many memories made in such a short amount of time. My dad and him would always razz each other about everything. They fought a lot, but they had a great bond too. My dad just always wanted him to get his life together. The long black train is the drug and alcohol. The long black train is the drugs and alcohol, my dad always said to Tony. The song Long Black Train was my uncle's favorite song. It's by Josh Turner. I think it was the most perfect song for my uncle. I said, cling to the Father and His holy name, and don't go riding on this long black train. Now watch out, brother, for that long black train. The devil's driving that long black train. That's the chorus of the song, and it's saying that he better look out for the train because it's all the sins and bad decisions in life, and that you need to look up to God and stay on the right path. For my uncle, the train was the drugs and alcohol, and we were who he looked up to for guidance and what kept him on the right path. I think he lived with us for about a year, and we finally got another apartment by the lake. Me and Courtney were so excited about this because we even got our own room at this apartment. He was happy too because we were so happy. We always would stay at his house, and we would always make dinner and watch movies. I remember when Uncle Tony would cook on the grill, and me and my sister hated it. We hated it because it always tasted like straight charcoal. My uncle lived in that apartment for a while. He had a good job running cable, and he was in a good place in his life for once. I actually think my dad was proud of his brother. Life was great until he moved with his job to West Virginia. My sister and I were devastated. Our favorite person was moving yet again. He made his move down to West Virginia due to his job. We later found out that it made him really happy down there, and then he felt like he actually belonged. Years went by of him living down there, and we would hear from him every now and again. The pictures he sent us were great. He got kind of fat only because he was happy. I accepted the fact that he moved down there and that he was the happiest he had ever been. So it made me happy to see him like that. But I sure did miss him. I'm glad he was down there when he passed because that's where he was the happiest. Years went by of Uncle Tony living down there and running cable until the worst day came along. October 14th, 2011. Your dad called me and said Tony got electrocuted to death, and I was just like, what? Is what my mom said to me when I asked her about how she got the news when he passed. When I got the news, they just told me he got killed on the job. They wouldn't tell me what actually happened because I was only 12. I didn't really cry about it because that's not how I grieve, but I did lose a piece of me that day, and I don't think I'll ever be the same. The older I got, the more I realized he was actually gone. My uncle was electrocuted to death on the job. His partner backed the truck up with him in the bucket and ran him right into the line. The coroner said he died quickly and didn't feel a thing. They tried to keep the whole accident quiet because nobody wants to hear tragic things like that happening in their town. My uncle and his partner were both under the influence of alcohol. They both made a huge mistake on their part. My uncle went riding on the long black train and it cost him his life. My uncle was a great man. He just made some mistakes and hit some bumps in the road during his life. Those things don't mean anything to me though, because nothing can change the way I saw my uncle. My biggest motivator and my biggest inspiration. I know my uncle is looking down on me every day and is pleased with the young lady I have developed into. I still strive every day to be a more kind-hearted person like him. I want to be just like him. Without him ever being in my life, I don't think I would be who I am today. I'm so thankful for all the time and memories I got to spend and make with him. I just wish it didn't have to end so soon. I miss him and think about him every day.